All right, thank you, Mr. Jaja. King Jaja of Opobo is what we know when we are growing up back in primary school. So you tell us, are you from Opobo, or which part of the country are you from?
I'm from Ohafia in Abia State.
Oh, okay. So what is your full name?
My full name is Ago Kalumba, but ordinarily known in my family and everywhere. It's easier to get at me when you call me Jaja. My dad didn't want the Jaja to be my official name, so that's why it's Ago.
Oh, so Jaja is really not your given name?
It's my given name.
Okay.
If you come to my place, if you are looking for Ago, you probably get lost. But if you're looking for Jaja, if you're looking for Jaja, they know the compound they will take you to. That's my compound. Yeah.
That's brilliant. All right. So want to know, first of all, what did you study in school? And then you tell us what you are doing now. Then we can now move from where you were to where you are now. So help us.
Okay, at the University of Nigeria, I studied mathematics.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
you love mathematics. Did you apply to study mathematics?
Yeah, my first choice.
That is strange.
That was the first choice.
Okay.
So even though while working, I have done a master's in financial management from Harriet Watt University in the UK.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
So what kind of a student were you?
When I was at UNN?
UNN, yes. What class of degree did you finish with?
First class.
Oh, interesting. First class mathematics, UNN. That's solid.
Yeah. Actually, maybe a little bit of background is my primary school. I don't know what is nursery. My primary school was at Community Primary School at Abi Ohafia, the smallest village in Ohafia.
Okay.
Local government. From there, I went to the next village, which is Akano Ohafia Secondary School, where I did 7 years instead of 6. Not because I any exam, but because I couldn't pay my fees on time, and I was told to go home because I couldn't pay school fees and register for my junior WAEC. So I was told to go home. I went home. Thank God that my mom did not hit to the call of friends that were telling her that I should go and learn how to sew or shoemaking in Aba, or go to a commercial school in the village that's easy, to do. And we waited out the 1 year, and I went back. It still wasn't like the money was there to pay. And this is the 4th year. No uniform has been sewn. So that is the background where I'm coming from. And so people are saying you are brilliant, you should go and study medicine and surgery. But somebody that couldn't pay school fees in secondary school, apart from the help of Chief Actor Nzeribe, may God bless his soul. He thought his politics, but he created a foundation, Chief Actor Nzeribe Education Foundation Scholarship for brilliant students in Denimo State. So that's how I got a scholarship to be able to finish my senior secondary. And asked me how much was the school fees, 65 naira. So, so he was giving me a scholarship of 200 naira every year. So that's how I finished. So I was just looking for a course that I can finish on time. And based on coming from a science background, some were suggesting accounting and all that. So I didn't want to just go to where commercial students were. So I wanted to do industrial mathematics.
Okay.
At Futo. But my dad was feeling like, how will I be a NASU working at UNN and you will be traveling all the way to Weri? So that's why I have to do mathematics at UNN. So from day one, I had it in my mind that I want to make a first class. While people were telling my elder brother, who was in statistics, 2nd year, why did you allow your brother to come into maths, that is the elder brother of statistics? Will he graduate? I was telling him that if it's possible for me to graduate in 3 years instead of 4, That's what I want. I mean, so yeah, the app you want to create, it's very good. Our time things were too crude. I can recall that after my first year, my GP was 4.47. And knowing how UNN is, nobody will approximate it for you.
They will ask you, where will they get it from?
Yeah, so it made me to put in more efforts in my second year, so that by the time I was finishing my third year, I was comfortably in first class. That all I needed to do is to make sure my final year is 4.5 or even lower self. So and I was actually a houseboy all through, because I couldn't afford to live in the hostel like others.
Okay, so you are living in the lecturer's quarters, lecturer's apartment.
That one is an elevation. So I was living with an uncle who was a biology teacher at University Secondary School.
Oh, okay.
And I used to follow Nwansoka, that's those people you call Nwansoka, to go inside the university, the lecturers' quarters to fetch water in the morning. They send their dog to pursue Nwansoka. Me as an undergraduate, I will run also. Until maybe when I now got to know the Owakwes. I don't know whether you know them. Onui Assemblies of God. So the wife recognized me, even though I worship at Amokwa. But at the wife, he recognized me that I used to follow students to come down there. So it made it easy. I know somewhere I would just walk in straight to be able to fetch water, carry it, or borrow a barrel to push it. When the water scarcities were biting in Nsukka, I used to go to waterworks. I don't know whether you know where it is.
Yeah, I know where it is. I know where it is.
I used to go there, and this is my uncle, as I say, is a teacher. We don't. There was no television in our house, no refrigerator, so I go to Nsukka market at least twice in a day. I'm not saying a week. Do you know where they call Miami? At the back of the VC's lodge.
Yes,
that was where we were staying. So you see, after Nsukka there, so I would always go there in the morning, buy a and a pap to come and prepare for him, and then I would go to school. In the afternoon, because he doesn't he said that eating gare pains his eyes. I have to come back, make my eba. So that as I'm eating it, I've peeled the yams to boil. By the time I finish eating, I'll pound his yam.
Really?
Keep for him before I'll hurriedly go back to continue in my lectures for the evening.
Interesting.
So that's what I was doing for 4 or 5 years because of strike. Yeah.
So there was strike even at that time, and the strike has persisted till today.
3 months in my first year, 4 months in my second year. I think how many months in my third year, because that's when they increased school fees to 3,800. And we rioted. When I say we, I didn't join them. Students rioted, burned down a lot of places, wanted to attack the. And we still have to pay a reparation fee and still pay the school fees.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's almost every year there was strike. I think it's in my final year. I can't remember if there was strike, and we stayed at home. Apart from that, so a course of 4 years was almost done for 5 years. So that's how.
So having finished first class mathematics, so what do you do now?
I'm a senior manager in MTN and head of commercial planning and pricing. So when you look at how you price your products, it's my
fault.
Responsible. Not completely, because some of it has to do with regulatory restrictions. So even though we love our customers, we even want to give you something free, but our regulator will say you can't do it. We want to take undue advantage and cheat others and drag people to you. So So I'm the head of commercial planning and pricing. Before then, I was the manager in charge of budgets and finance, where I do the whole, over here, the commercial planning means I have to plan about, do the macroeconomic analysis and how it impacts our business, talk about the subscribers, talk about how our minutes will grow based on the subscribers and the trend of events, and then talk about revenue and the cost of sales in driving the revenue, and I'll end there. That's what I'm doing here. And it's expanded. Then I'll talk about how to price the product, how they are performing. Do we need to tweak it? Do we need to introduce another thing? What's competition doing? All sorts. Okay, so, and the analytics that involved, segmenting customers. How do we below the line give to Uchukwu while we are not giving to alcohol in all those stuff? So when I was in finance, is about getting these plans from the commercial people and consolidating it, and then adding the operating expenditures, the capital expenditures that will drive this kind of revenue, and also consolidate it, prepare a financial statement from the revenue down to the profit after tax, whether they say dividend to be paid, finance costs, everything. So that was what I was doing in finance as a manager, and also as an accountant, because I entered MTN as an accountant, and then grew to become a manager, now a senior manager. I worked in Diamond Bank for 10 years. Whoa. And I left there as a team lead in charge of business performance monitoring. So we do the reporting of the businesses, we monitor the business, we monitor contracts and relationships and how profitable they are, the SLS, and prepare performance trees of branches. At some point, some of my friends will say, if they sack me, it's that cost. But I was just doing my job, trying to paint each of categorize the branches in green, amber, or red, depending on whether you are meeting your revenue or your costs, so all those stuff. And there are rules and repercussions that follow each of them. So that was the last work I did there. But before I came to the head office to do this work, I was posted to head the operations of the mortgage subsidiary, where I did the system implementation of the mortgage subsidiary, and then supervise the operations of the 4 branches and head office, Port Harcourt, Abuja, Owerri, Ikoyi, and then head office and all that, monitoring loans, how they are performing, do we need to restructure, and all those. I did that for them in the mortgage subsidiary for how many years? Between 2006 and 10. Before then, I worked in how many branches? I started from Orile Coca branch when it was just open, when I just joined as a trainee. From there, I moved down to Abakaliki branch when it was opened. From Abakaliki branch, I moved back to Marina when there was a challenge, there was a fraud, and they say customers' details were not properly maintained in the system. So some of these things slipped, and the mandates, so I was brought there to clean up. I worked there for not up to a year. And then there was a demand for funds transfer and a lot of operational work in Adiola Hopewell, which used to be the icon branch then. Almost 30% of the profits of the business then used to come from Adiola Hopewell. So that was from there I went to the mortgage. Before joining Diamond Bank, I worked briefly, just a couple of months, as a graduate assistant in Department of Mathematics at UNM. So that has been my working history.
So what made you leave lecturing for the bank?
I've already hinted you about my background of software. Actually, my supervisor is both my project supervisor and was my academic advisor. He's a nice man, Professor M.O. Silike. He used to travel to Italy, International Center for Theoretical Physics in Trieste, Italy. Yes. I think Abdul Salami Center for So he traveled there often, and his own supervisor, who is his own figure, like he is my figure, was a director of the diploma in mathematics there, which is Professor C. Chidume. So he has already hinted him about me. So the plan was for me, as a graduate assistant, finish my master's. And I'm going to go over there in Italy to do a diploma in mathematics. And then they have a lot of schools in the US, affiliates, where they have fellowship, where I can go and do my PhD. That was the journey he explained to me. But then there were a lot of school fees to be paid in my family, which I started paying as a copper anyway. So, and I was shown the rosiness of the kind of vehicles that my guys that are working in banks were riding. So I looked at it, I said, you know what? Praising this guy that is so brilliant, can't you see the way he puts his hand in the pocket and be solving maths might not solve the problem in my family. So that's why I left. And whether you like it or not, I'm still looking for the money up to now. I really catch up. So that's
okay. Now the thing is, what would you say? Yeah, I understand that you come from a poor background. There are millions of Nigerians who share a similar story with you, but not all of them have actually legally and legitimately made a way for themselves, so to speak, to the kind of thing you've done today. What would you say is the primary thing that has helped you to grow the way you have grown over the past 15, 20 years?
One of my character is that I don't live for myself. I believe that my success is for others.
Okay.
I know my family needs help, so I know I needed to work hard so that they will come out of their struggle. In fact, my first class, I knew that my own fellowship, CASO, they wanted to go and boast that they made a first class in mathematics, not that I made a first class. Yeah, so it drives me to make life better for others. And there was problem I was seeing it. So I knew I needed to work hard, put in extra hard to ensure that, because I know that if I succeed, others will succeed. If it's about me, I'm not bothered as much. So it's part of the driving force where I'm coming from and the need to change it. And knowing that I cannot cut corners, I have to work very, very hard. It has helped me. Working hard has helped me. There was some time in the bank, you know how bank you can be fired on the spot or promoted on the spot. Sometimes I could have entered into a problem, and my branch manager was explaining to the divisional head there, and he was telling me, why will you enter into trouble with all your hard work? The divisional head thought, I said, is he hardworking? And the branch manager, very, very hardworking, very, very hardworking. So he looked at me, go. And he ended it. So because I've imbibed this spirit of working hard to solve problem, not only for myself, but for others. So it follows me everywhere I go. So people need to get tired of complaining or tired of where they are and want to make a difference, not only for themselves. Because if you are just thinking for yourself, when you start earning enough that you can, because I can remember the kind of prayer I used to pray when I was on undergraduate. I said, Father, you know how things are difficult. I want, when I graduate from here, that anytime I need something, there is money in my pocket. So if I have stopped at that point, there is always money in my pocket. As a lecturer, there is going to be money in my pocket. But I know that money will not solve my problem and solve for others. That's why I have to take dive. And when I entered into banking, I knew I shouldn't just be rolling on from being here, become a cash officer and head of operations. I started going to study for not ICANN, but ACCA, because I learned it's going to give me global relevance. So immediately I finished the ACCA. It wasn't up to 6 months or 1 year That's when they call me to come and work in that capacity because they required a chartered accountant. And it's because I'm a chartered accountant, that was why I was able to move from banking to telco as an accountant as well. So, in a nutshell, it's my desire to solve a problem, not only my problem, but the problem of those that I care about. That was the driving force.
Brilliant. Now you work for MTN. I mean, many people would kill to work for MTN. I mean, in Nigeria today, in Nigeria, this is one of the very few companies that we know pay well, or at least we believe pay well. We don't work for MTN. Now, what will it take for someone to, get a job at MTN? What are the things that you think MTN looks for in a suitable or in an ideal candidate for employment?
Okay, when I joined MTN, before I joined MTN, I've applied severally to work in MTN.
Oh, really?
No response whatsoever. The boboed us, not MTN, but we boboed ourselves in Diamond Bank that because Pascal Dozier is the chairman of MTN, there is a rule that if you work in Diamond Bank, you can never be employed in MTN. And we accepted it. Maybe sometimes we even stop applying. So it was just, I think I traveled to Abuja for one interview because I desperately needed to leave the bank. On coming back, I saw my financial control guys, looking at something. I asked them, what is it? I looked at this accountant. I just applied. That's the way I applied. The day they invited me to come and write a test, aptitude test. Some persons have started saying, are you not tired of writing aptitude tests? But I told them, since I'm not tired of looking for a job, I won't get tired. Yeah, because at that level, I've spent like 8 years to 9 years.
Yeah.
I say I'm not supposed to be writing aptitude test, but if you invite me, I'll go and write it. So I was going. At first, I didn't know what the organization was. In fact, my thinking of MTN looks like a cyber cafe, actually. I went to go and write it. And surprisingly to me, true to their promise when I went to write the test, by the evening, I saw the score in my email. It's 6%. I can remember vividly. So, and of all the interviews that I was struggling to attend, some of them, being put under pressure to lie before you go for it. The MTN one was so seamless.
Transparent.
I'm trying to also bring divine arrangement into this. So, because they invited me for interview by 8:30 in the morning. So I didn't need to take excuse off work a day. I just have to call my boss and say something happened. I will be coming in late. So I just drove into Golden Plaza, as they used to call it, attended the interview. I didn't know what was what. I didn't know, their panel is 3. The standard of MTN is that the hiring manager is there. The HR representative will be the same rank as the rank of the person being interviewed. And then there is the chairman of the panel must be a rank above the hiring manager so that he will actually be the chairman. And also be a little knowledgeable in the role so that he will. So 3 of them are scoring you after they will collate and then. So there is one critical thing they look out in MTN. They call it acronym is LYRIC. L is for leadership. They are going to ask you a question to tell them, the interview with the STAR methodology. Tell us the situation, the tact, what is the action you took, and the result. So, so they will want to see whether you are somebody that can lead. Tell us a time when you led people to achieve something. It mustn't be at work, it mustn't be at school, but they want to see. And the story must add up and make sense. The I is integrity. They pride themselves of integrity. Okay, so they are going to ask you questions that will bring out your integrity. What will you do? What you did at a certain kind of situation. And then the arrow is on relationships. One of the shocks I got in MTN is that in the bank, when you send an email, the person you have sent to that email is bound to respond or tell you I'm working on it. But in MTN, it wasn't so when I joined. And I was agitated. And they told me that's why calling a colleague is free. Call him. So they believe in building of bridges in relationship. So when I learned it, I have now started being an expert more than others. I don't only end at calls. You might be at your desk, I will appear. I'm on 8th floor now. I can enter the lift, come down to 2nd floor, sit in front of you. Immediately you see me. It's different from a call. It's different from an email. So they believe in building of bridges as they are. The other one is innovation. So they want to know that the person they want to hire is innovative. So you should, they will ask you a question, what you have done in life before that shows that you're somebody that is highly innovative. Yeah. And what is a lyric? Yes, the C is can do. They don't want somebody that will just come status quo. They want somebody, like we used to say in the bank, somebody that can go to coma. You say I'm able to do it. I'm able to do it. So those are the things they will look out for. And before now, MTN hires only people that have experience. People, if you're an engineer, you can prove you're an engineer. You have experience. An accountant, you can prove it. You're qualified and all that. And several other things. But now they are changing in order to bring in young people, because this is a technology organization and it thrives with the IT natives. So that's why they have introduced the graduate trainee, which they do every year. But that one, the number of people that will employ, I think this year is the highest they have employed, 13. Normally it's not up to that. But they are 13. Also introducing other things.
13. And how many people get to write the exam? Thousands.
It's Dragnet that will know that.
Really?
Yeah. So, because
so what's the minimum qualification for those who want to become graduate trainees? 2-1 first class?
2-1.
So 2-1. It's crucial for somebody, because these days, you have a lot of people in school who feel that it's not so important to do well in school. So for MTN, the minimum qualification is 2-1 before you can even
for graduate trainee. For graduate trainee.
Yeah,
ordinarily the minimum is a 2-2.
Okay.
Yeah, ordinarily. Like I said, they used to only hire people that have experience.
Already have experience.
Okay. Yeah. So I really do not see any reason why, if I have the ability to make a 2-1 or first class, I'll be thinking it doesn't matter, I'll end up with a 2-2. Yeah. So, but if it is because of circumstances that made you to have a 2-2, I normally will advise you, don't give up. You can make it up. If possible, start performing better than the people that have 2-1.
Sure.
I have a friend that had a 2-2 in biochem, MCB, and UNN. But when he went to do his master's in the UK, he came out with a distinction. Just like me, who had a first class, came out with a distinction as well. So and it's in the UK, so you can't be talking about it was in Nigeria he bribed. Exactly. And he's doing very well. Yeah, in banking. He's one of the few of my seed that are still in banking. I think he should be a principal now, and in First Bank. So having that that continuous improvement mindset is very, very important. Yeah, because you can try MTN, they will turn you down, and you want to improve yourself and get better, and they will be coming to come and put you as well. So, but what I've just said in a nutshell is what they are looking for in a person. The graduate trainee, like I said, they will be looking at a minimum of 2-1 for you to enter. They have also introduced graduate internship. The graduate trainee is actually MTN Group initiative. So MTN Group from South Africa. Yeah. So, but they want to do a national one that is internship. How it will work is still being tidied up. But I know I've been in the panel that have interviewed some people. So they will likely be joining my division by June. So that's another initiative they're bringing. But the main thing is that you have to show you have the skills. You have to show that you have the skills. You have to show you have something to offer. It's not that I have a degree. Give me a job. You should try public service. Yeah.
So what are the disciplines that are most likely to be employed in MTN? What are the disciplines? Somebody studying Igbo linguistics or Christian religious knowledge, does the stand a chance?
Okay, if I count our divisions, even though some of them are clear, the kind of people that will work there. If I say our network team, they are engineers. I don't know what somebody that studied Igbo linguistics will be doing with our network. You can be the PA of the exec there.
Yes.
Yeah, but you want to be engineer from there, grow to become a manager and all that is for engineers.
Okay.
Our IT is for computer engineers and scientists. But then we know that we have several persons that studied estate management, agronomy, and they went into IT certified that are working in IT. So not to talk about, in fact, the chairman of my panel when I interviewed for MTN is a doctor. I don't know whether it's vet or real doctor, but he was a senior manager in IT. He's in another organization as CIO now, Chief Information Officer. So IT is also a specialization. Even if you did not study computer science or computer engineering or electronic or whatever, you must have done certifications that will make you to work in IT. In finance, it's basically accountants and finance persons. In fact, there are two units or two departments in finance. The financial planning where I work and financial operations is chartered accountants. Chartered accountants. So if you are not chartered, even if you have a BSc in accounting, you continue to be an administrator, which is our level 1 in MTN, until you charter. And before you start talking about you are moving to analyst or accountant or manager. So those ones are, okay, so you studied Igbo linguistics, you studied English literature, you studied anything. We have HR. Why not go and register with the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria or CIPD of UK or SHROM, GPHRI I think it's US, and do a certification in human resource. You can work in human resource. So for anything you do, if you want to add value to yourself and to an organization, you have a way of proving it. Especially in Nigeria, where certificates is what sells us first before they will look at what we can offer. If it's elsewhere, what they're looking at, what you can offer. So why not work hard and add to your Igbo linguistics and a HR certification? Or we have our CR, our customer services is what they are called now. There is I think there's what they call CSSP, customer service, blah, 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 professional. It's there to do. You can start as a receptionist even in a shop, whether a ShopRite or lower something and all that. MTN, at least, no matter how Nigerianized they want to do it, it's still a multinational. The way they think in South Africa that you have experience from elsewhere, even if it's church, in customer service, you add it there, they will look at it, and there is a certification to add on top of it, and you sold yourself well in an interview. I mean, you are gone. So there is certification in customer service. We have our legal departments and regulatory. Of course, you know there is lawyers that are going to be here. So how well can you defend your law degree and you are qualified to be called for an interview there? And several other units. The ones in sales, you have to show you are flair in selling. I am in marketing, but I'm in business intelligence of marketing with a combination of my maths, my finance background, and commercial acumen is what I'm doing in business intelligence. But we have people in consumer marketing that will try and conceptualize a product and all that. So some of them are doing CIM, Chartered Institute of Management of Marketing of UK. Yeah, a couple of them are doing it. And I don't know how good is of Nigeria. So there are always something to add to show that I can add value to what you're doing. I think there is the guideline you sent to me, before I forget it, is yes, I became a chartered accountant from when I was in banking because I was already in financial services sector, and I'm seeing myself doing well in finance. So I certified so that I'll prove it. And of course, I've proven it that it's not only in financial services that I can add that value, I can add it in telco. In case there is opening in your oil and gas industry, call me. So, but if you ask me now, with the current trend we have now in professional life, with my background in mathematics and statistics, if it is now that I graduated with a first class in maths, a background in maths and statistics, I could have gone straight to data science.
So people who do like Tableau and all these
Power BI and all that,
BI,
mining of data, cleaning it up and all that, because you understand all the statistical combinations, interactions that happen, the regression and correlation about data. And it's a hot cake now. It's a hot cake. The Castle brother, Israel Ajayi, that graduated a year ahead of me, had a first class in statistics. He also did a master's in mathematics. But over time, working with insurance, working in JP Morgan and all that, he started training himself because, of course, the talk of data science, data analytics started in places like the US ahead of us.
Yeah.
So he has already known it. So he trained himself now to the point that if I tell you his pay, so it's a hot cake now. So even as we have started to drum about it in Nigeria, there's still a gap. Yeah. In MTN, if you show that you are promising in data science, in the use of all the Python, R, and all that, tools, and you come and visualize it and all that, and with a background in mathematics and statistics with a flair in IT, that's what I could have gone into. But now at the level I operate, I supervise the people that are hands-on. So what I'm trying to do, that's to tell you there's continuous learning happening. What I try to do is to just handpick some learnings and learn, so that when you are talking to the people, you are not completely ignorant of what is a relational database system.
Exactly.
So nobody will come and bamboozle you and tell you what they used to do to me in IT in Diamond Bank. You talk, and the person say it's a technical thing, until one day I got annoyed and told them I have a degree in mathematics. Can you tell me that is technical? I want to understand it. It's because when they tell you to all those people that are from arts background and all that is technical, they believe them. Can't tell me that. So I don't want people under me to be telling me Oga is a technical thing. What is it? What is kind of layer of data? So I try to do one or two studying and all that, so that I will be abreast of what's happening in that space. So data science, from my background, is what I could have gone into. And there are a whole lot of people. I think I challenged my Castle brethren with Ajibola. She studied agronomy from Lautech. So she started training herself. Sometimes she will leave a job to take another one, not because it pays better, but because of what she wants to learn. And in fact, before she left MTN, she was given a managerial role, the beggar making collect, a young lady. She didn't want to take it because she was hired. What's the name of this country in Europe? Is it Latvia or Lithuania? Lithuania. I think she has even left those ones to go to Western Union. I don't know whether it's still in the same country or not. So many people from here that I know have been hired from Nigeria. I have a relation from my place. The mom just started me. He was working with Ozomados here because he was good. Has been hired. He's in Germany. Everything paid. There's another one also that have been hired. He's in the UK now. So that space is still hot now. So any young person that is showing a lot of promise and you can prove you know what you're doing. So that's another place to somebody should try and have have skills on. And don't tell me because you didn't study computer science or anything you study. In fact, I actually interviewed Ajibola because I wanted to use the learning to talk to people that are younger. And she told me that if you don't know where to start from SQL. Start learning how to do from SQL. From there, you'll be moving on small. And she was very, very good. Consistently, she was voted because when we do appraisal at the end of the year, we put our best performers, then put the other ones in one bucket and all that. She was always on top, doing her job well. So that has been my advice.
Okay, so final words. What would you say to our young people? Nigeria, particularly, in spite of the ASUS track, in spite of one of the guys I interviewed in this project, was very critical about our education system. So what exactly would you be telling somebody who is in school now or who is just graduating on how to advance in his career?
For the people that are in school, what's his name? Stephen Covey will say, have the end in sight. Stop going to school because others are going, you get a certificate and then you start talking, please help me get a job. I have the end in sight. I went to school at the point that you will graduate from a university without seeing a computer. Even though I studied maths and computer at the time, I didn't see computer until I graduated. In fact, my castle sister, Blessing, that was doing projects to write a program to solve numerical systems of numerical or simultaneous equations and all that using is it simplex method? I've forgotten. She was, I don't know, they used to go somewhere to do it. I didn't follow them, so I never saw a computer. So, but I can remember telling her that, but the theorem says for you to get an answer that your starting point x0 should be close to the solution. So she listened to me and they went and tried it. They ran it and it just they got an answer. And they think I'm a wizard. Why? I was always interested in knowing what is happening in computer science. I was interested in knowing what is happening in economics. I will pick their note and see this is my optimization theory that I'm doing in mathematics that is saying optimize f of x equals to this subject to other functions, and I'll keep on doing theorem and theorem. I'll pick their own book and see their own optimization is saying, how do you maximize profits? And they'll give you the profit function subject to other constraints, either the cost of goods or the equation for revenue. So I knew, what I'm doing is not a waste. It's actually going to be applied somewhere. And in fact, I explained it to them when I did interview in either First Bank or something. When I told them, they were all nodding their head when they wanted to know what I'm bringing to the table, that I have a degree in maths. So because I'm always trying to know, I have a relation. I have a lot of people that studied computer science. And I'm sorry to say that my daughter that is in sixth form doing A-levels knows computer more than them. She does Python, she does everything. In fact, her project is on using Microsoft Access to develop a database, test it, and you understand. So these are things you can do on your own. They don't need to teach you. In fact, they won't teach you. I don't know about Covenant or Babcock, but they won't teach you at UNN. So, because if I interview somebody that have a first class in engineering from Futo is good.
Yeah.
But man, I was asking you to tell me interactive tools. And it's difficult for you to know that even the Zoom we are using is part of what you should say. But you have a first class. You are brainy. But it's because you have not been thinking about how to
apply these things to the real world.
Exactly. Relate it to where you apply it and solve problem, which is the major problem we have in Nigeria. We only talk about certificate. So it's important for them to do. That's my advice. And second thing is that stop accepting difficulty and explaining away with constraints and excuses. Always believe that you are the problem and you will solve it when it comes to succeeding. and don't easily give up. They might tell you there is no need to apply. They know who they want to take. It's not today it started. And their own generation is far better than ours. At the comfort of your phone or laptop, you make applications. Our own, we used to go stand at newspaper stands on Tuesdays to see if there are advertisement. We copy the address. Copy the address, go and look for where we photocopy the last copy of our CV, and then go down, the interbus, go down to Broad Street, Marina, or Street of VI in the hot sun. And security people will tell us, no, we are not accepting any CV. No, we are accepting, so, and do. But their own is easy. So why not use the other time you have and improve yourself and keep on working at it. So that's my advice to them. And lastly, Nigeria might be demoralizing to make you feel that is there any need to work hard. So person what did you know? Because the uncle or the father knows so person, see where he is now. But we are talking about globalization.
Yeah.
You can't do it that way and get a job in Canada or US or UK or Germany or anywhere. You should be working on yourself to be global relevant. That if you work in an organization when you are talking, your colleagues in the UK or South Africa or Canada won't come and look down on you because you are from Nigeria. Because what you have, you acquired it by yourself and you are proving it at work. And also that just you mentioned about a young man that you interviewed that is staying here without a degree, making $2,000. How many people that have that degree with first class or 2-1 at that age, even if they are graduates, will make it? It's because he worked on it consistently. That's why he's able to do it. So look at yourself as a global brand and be working on yourself to be able to achieve that. That's the advice I have for them.
Thank you very much. It's been a loaded one, and we hope that this gets to thousands and hundreds of thousands of Nigerian undergraduates and graduates as they fight to make a way for themselves in life. Thank you. We talk soon.
Yeah, thank you very much.